Hello everyone. So much has happened since the series has begun. Everyone has gone through a lot of things and has changed a lot. So, I decided to post a series of videos where I'll talk about these characters' journeys, about how they started out, what happened to them, and where their journey will lead them in the end. I'll also discuss the prophecies about them if there are any in the books. I'll post my top 10 shocking scenes video, a viewer's request video on Bran's journey, and Hodor's return video soon. And I would like to thank Abby Tabby for her brilliant suggestions. So make sure to subscribe this channel and also click on the bell next to it so that you won't miss it. In the beginning of this series, Sansa was a sweet, innocent child who loved songs and heroes. I guess up to some level, we all love that, otherwise we wouldn't love this series so much. Anyways, Sansa was naive and she always saw good in people. In the books, this is what Catelyn thinks of Sansa. Sansa was a lady at 3, always so courteous and eager to please. She loved nothing so well as tales of knightly valor. Men would say she had my look, but she will grow into a woman far more beautiful than I ever was. You can see that. Then, Robert Baratheon comes to Winterfell and offers Joffrey and Sansa's marriage proposal to Ned.
I have a son, you have a daughter. We'll join our houses.
Sansa falls in love with the handsome prince. She is told that she will become a queen someday.
I think Joffrey will like me. He's so handsome. And I'd be queen someday. Please make father say yes.
Sansa.
Please, please. It's the only thing I ever wanted.
But then they leave Winterfell and everything goes downhill from there. It is said that love makes you blind, and she did become blind to what Joffrey really was. After what happens at the Trident with Mycah, Joffrey lies to the king and Sansa is called to verify Joffrey or Arya's stories.
Not true.
Yes, it is. They all attacked me and she threw my sword in the river.
Liar.
Shut up!
Tell me what happened.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Sansa doesn't want to betray her family, but she also doesn't want to betray her future husband. So, she chooses to side with neither of them, saying she doesn't remember. Because of this, Cersei decides to have Lady killed since Nymeria couldn't be found. This was the first trial Sansa faced in her life, and Lady was her first loss. What I didn't like about Sansa was that she blamed Arya for Lady's death, not Joffrey or Cersei, even though they were wrong at this time. After that, when Ned was captured for being a traitor, Sansa begged Joffrey for mercy. He chopped Ned's head off and called it mercy. This was the second loss of her life, and for the first time, she saw Joffrey for what he really was. As I said in my top 10 hateful characters video, I think Littlefinger was the one behind Joffrey's decision to kill Ned Stark. Cersei had tried to convince Joff to let him take the black, otherwise Jaime's life would have been at risk. By the way, I'm really glad that Sansa didn't betray her family in the show like she did in the books by telling Cersei that Ned had planned to take the girls and leave King's Landing. Instead, she runs off to Cersei, tells her about Ned's plans, and begs her to let her marry Joffrey. Cersei sends Sansa to Maegor's holdfast, and after that, the killing begins. Sansa definitely isn't one of my most favorite characters, but I'm trying to look at things from her perspective. Anyways, when Joffrey shows her Ned's and the other Northerners' heads on spikes, she contemplates pushing Joffrey off the walkway, even if it means she will die as well, but she is stopped by the hound subtly. This was the first change in her. This was her first act of bravery. After that, Joffrey keeps punishing her for Rob's reasons, and she learns to keep her head down, feign loyalty to the Lannisters, and observe others quietly.
You're here to answer for your brother's latest treasons.
Your Grace, whatever my traitor brother has done, I had no part.
Do you want an end to this engagement?
I am loyal to King Joffrey, my one true love.
Lady Stark, you may survive us yet.
She has to be strong to be able to suffer such insults. It's not the strength of a warrior. She is not like Arya or even Dany. It's more like a feminine kind of strength. Kind of like Cersei's or Catelyn's. Cersei used to give her tips here and there, but I believe the main reason for her strength was the Hound. Doesn't it remind you of the Beauty and the Beast? In the midst of her enemies, he had protected and supported her wherever he could get away with it. When she was left behind during the riots, the Hound had saved her. When she made an excuse to save Ser Donto's life, he had backed her up.
It would be bad luck to kill a man on your name day.
The girl is right. Man sows on his name day. He reaps all year.
He had even offered to take her with him before leaving King's Landing, but she had refused to go with him. After the Battle of the Blackwater, she is freed from her engagement to Joffrey, only to be married to Tyrion later. On the Purple Wedding, when Lady Olenna poisons Joffrey, Ser Dontos escapes with Sansa and brings her to the ship where Littlefinger is waiting for her. He takes her with him to the Vale as his daughter Aelin, and that's when her official training begins. After Lysa Arryn's murder, we can see how much Sansa has learned from him when she manipulates Lord Jon Royce, Lady Waynwood, and Sir Vance Corbray into believing that Lysa has committed suicide. When he asks why she had saved him, she says she knows what he wants.
Why did you help me? Better to gamble on the man you know than the strangers you don't. And you think you know me?
I know what you want.
Do you?
This is one of the lessons he had taught her. When you know what a man wants, you know who he is and how to move him. Later, Littlefinger hands her over to another monster. He goes ahead and marries Sansa off to Ramsay. She is abused by Ramsay until she runs away with Theon and meets Jon at the Wall. By the way, that reunion really surprised me. I kept expecting something will go wrong and they won't be able to meet. Anyways, Jon and Sansa decide to take Winterfell back. When Littlefinger offers the army of the Vale, at first Sansa refuses him.
Go back to Caelin. My brother and I will take back the North on our own. I never want to see you again.
The time may come when you need an army loyal to you.
I have an army.
Your brother's army. Half-brother.
But later, when they don't get many people to fight with them, she asks Littlefinger for help. Together, they save Winterfell, and Sansa gets her first revenge by killing Ramsay. This was her first kill. You can see how much she has changed. Now you must be thinking, what's next for her? I would like to read a prophecy about Sansa from the books by the Ghost of High Heart. At first, she talks about the Red Wedding, then the Purple Wedding, and then she talks about Sansa slaying a giant. But I'll only discuss Sansa's prophecy here. I dreamt of a maid at a feast with purple serpents in her hair, venom dripping from her fangs. And later, I dreamt that maid again, slaying a savage giant in a castle built of snow. We know that Sansa has built a snow castle in the Eyrie, and Littlefinger was there with her. So this prophecy could be referring to her and Littlefinger. Maybe it means that she will slay Littlefinger. We all know he deserves it. This would be a great storyline. He teaches her how to play the game, and she defeats him in his own game. You might say this prophecy refers to Ramsay, but in the books, Sansa doesn't marry Ramsay. So even if she acquires the army of the Vale and help Jon defeat Ramsay, assuming that Jon is resurrected by Melisandre in the books too, it won't have the same effect as it did in the show, where it was seen as a revenge for what Ramsay did to her. So I don't think this prophecy refers to Ramsay. As for how Sansa will defeat Littlefinger, in the last season, we saw that Jon becomes the king in the north. Littlefinger tries to make Sansa jealous and to break them apart by saying that she is the true-born daughter of Ned Stark, while he is just a bastard, and she should be the queen. At first, I thought that Sansa is letting Littlefinger get to her again, that she is being manipulated by him. But after reading an interview of Sophie, I think it's the opposite of that. Now, Sansa is playing Littlefinger. So far, Littlefinger has played this game brilliantly. No one even knew that he started the War of the Five Kings, or that he has been behind so many other things, probably even Ned's execution. The only one who ever suspected him was Tyrion, at least in the books, but even he couldn't prove anything. If Littlefinger had kept going at this rate, he might have even won in the end. But he made one big mistake. He brought Sansa in. Not only did he reveal his plans to her, he also taught her how to play the game. Here are a few things Littlefinger has taught Sansa. Always keep your foes confused. If they are never certain who you are or what you want, they cannot know what you are like to do next. But he broke his own rule here. Sansa knows who he is now. She knows what he wants and what he would like to do next. Now, Sansa knows that Littlefinger wants to sit on the Iron Throne. She knows what he has done, and with one word, she could have him executed. She holds all the cards right now. Another thing he taught her is that what we don't know is what usually gets us killed. And what Littlefinger doesn't know here is that Sansa is playing him and not the other way around. So far, Littlefinger had kept emotions out of this, but he couldn't do that with Sansa anymore. Maybe he felt alone in this game, or that no one knows what he has achieved and he wanted Sansa to admire him. He let his feelings affect his decision. He taught Sansa not to let anyone know what you are, and yet he bared himself to her. He made himself vulnerable to her. And as I said in my Harrenhal's curse theory, anyone who owns Harrenhal is doomed. So in my opinion, Littlefinger's time is at an end. Sansa is going to kill Littlefinger and he won't even see it coming.
I did what I had to do to survive, my lady.
Somehow, I think she will defeat him in his own game and will outsmart him. What do you think will happen next in Sansa's life? What do you think she will do next? Anyways, it's time for the comment and crazy theory shout out. Today's comment shout out goes to Robin Redbreast. This is truly outstanding. I love your videos so much. I'm glad that you like my videos and I really appreciate your support. And today's crazy theory shout out goes to Storm Sand, who said, as part of the truce with the First Men and the new race of humans, that is White Walkers, the children would confine their magic to the Isle of Faces in the south and will leave the north to the White Walkers. The Starks are there as walks to keep the truce and mediate. One thing that has always bothered me is that if the White Walkers were created during the Dawn Age, then why had they waited until after the Age of Heroes to attack? This theory definitely explains it. Maybe the White Walkers were a part of the pact. Maybe they were confined to the north, but after a few thousand years, they broke the pact and attacked Westeros, forcing the men and the children to unite to throw them back and build the wall to make sure they don't try that again. So, what do you think of these theories? Don't forget to tell us in the comments. If you like this video, please click on the like button below, share the video and subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. Bye bye. See you in my next video.